Everywhere I go, I see his face.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I got to build a Dagger Spider-Man theme for my guy Seth Dean out in California. Doing a little bit different. I usually use reclaimed steels. This time I'm just going to use a piece of stock steel, 1084, ordered from Alpha Knife Supply. Really ought to check them out. They don't sponsor me. I just order a lot of stuff from them because they got really fair prices, great selection of stuff. So check out Alpha Knife Supply for any knife making stuff you need to order. Maybe one day I'll get them to sponsor me. Let's go make a dagger. Alright, forge is lit. First thing we're going to do is get it in there, get it hot, and we're going to start working on a tang. Looks like we got our tang done well enough. It's going to be a hidden tang, so it doesn't have to be terribly long. Now I just got to go cut off my work handle, because I hate using tongs, and weld it to this end. Then we can start forming the blade. Well, just tack the tang to my work handle. Went ahead and cut in a freeform. No reason to. I already feel like I'm cheating for using a piece of stock steel. Alright, time to shape the blade. This is a thin piece of steel, so it heats up and cools off rather quickly, so I'm just going to talk to you in between heats. Thought it'd be a good topic just to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of using a brand new steel like I'm using now. And I usually use reclaimed steels, old springs and stuff like that. Well, the problem with old springs is you can take an old leaf spring, for example, and you don't know what it's been through, you don't know where the flaws are at in it. There could be some damage in there that you can't see until it's too late, after you've done invested hours of work and a little bit of money into it, and then you find out that it's a bad piece of steel. Now the advantages of using reclaimed steels is going your recycling, taking what was a useless piece of junk and actually turning it into something that has purpose again. Plus there's always the self-gratification and the challenges of taking something like that. You know, that spring that you found in a junkyard and turning it into a beautiful, valuable, utilitarian item. You know, that's a lot of self-gratification. That's great. And then there's buying the new steels. Like this is brand new. I know exactly what it is. I ordered it. It's 1084. It's never been put under any stresses other than the stresses I'm exerting on it. So the disadvantages of that is it kind of takes some of the challenge out of it because it's already comes, you know, to a determined thickness, width, everything. So you already got that part worked out. You ain't got to worry about doing that. The advantages are huge though, since it's a new steel that's never been stressed. You don't have to worry about any hidden cracks or flaws in the steel. And since you know exactly what kind of steel it is, you can harden and temper, you know, and it's not a guessing game. I can look up 1084 how to harden it and, you know, follow that to the letter. And it should come out the same every time. And it's a lot quicker. It took, you know, 2/3 of the work out of it. Instead of having to go to a junkyard or find a piece of spring that I like, cut it, beat it into submission, beat it into a flat piece of steel that I can make a blade out of. I already got a flat piece of steel I can make a blade out of. So this cuts down a lot of time. Now this might not be as sought after if you're making knives and selling them, you know. From an artistic point of view, a lot of people would rather have something reclaimed. See how quick that cools off? Another big pro to reclaiming steel is that it's readily available. Most of the time it's virtually free. You know, people find out you're into this and they're like, oh man, I got a bunch of steel you can have if you want it, you know, so you rarely ever pay for any of your materials. And again, buying new steel, it's not that expensive. If you're just starting out, it'd be worth it to spend, order, you know, a $20 order of steel blanks. There it is. Take it for what you will. Alright, got the forge shut down. We got our hammered shape, ready to take to the grinding room. Clean up these shoulders right here on the tang. Grind some bevels on it, and be ready to come back up here and give the old heat treat. Alright, Seth, we got your blade locked down. Gonna get all this scale ground off of it. We'll lay out some grind lines. You'll have a knife in no time. Now the wax caps are off. Take it in the house and let it dry. Make sure it doesn't absorb too much moisture. Now we've got our blue layout done on there. We've established the center line. I'll just take a few measurements to see where we need to take some meat off. I think we're a little heavy on this side. Just only by tiniest of margins. We're just going to grind this edge down a little bit closer to the center line. Just trying to knock out some rough grinding before we go to the heat treat. It's a whole lot easier to take off this heavy metal while it's still soft.
Want some penis marker pills?
Yes, please. Now, we've got the little forge fired up. Gonna put this thing in for a round of normalizing and into the quench. There's number 2. This is the last normalizing cycle. Next time out, we're going to the oil for the heat treat. Yeah, looks like it's still straight. Alright, we got the blade hardened, ready to go in the temper. A super high-tech tempering oven. We'll leave it there for an hour and see how she comes out.
Here's his reward to him.
Now, ready to get some bevels ground on this thing. Alright, Seth. Here you go. I'll give your mom a big hug. She bought this for you.